Go.
All right, so we're doing the repair up here on Mr. Yoshimura's roof. A couple things I just want to kind of point out before I do get started. We've got all the shingles marked that are kind of going to be touched or affected by this repair. We got the two shingles above it, and there it does bleed over into those two, and then the two below it as well. And then we also have two control shingles up here that are not going to get touched in this process. So they should, again, be pretty consistent throughout this. I'll brush them right now. Here you can see there's no granules sliding off this at all. Same thing over here, no granules off this one. Nothing's coming off here. We come down to these shingles we have here as well. You can see there's no granule loss going on currently before manipulation. Same thing over here. No shingles really coming off here at all. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Start by putting these shingles back. To get some nails out real quick. All right. So I'm gonna check here. I think when I took this shingle, I should have put these nails back in this shingle here to hold this one in. Let's check here. Looks like that is actually loose there. So we do have those nails still out. That tarp that we should have been holding it down. So we should be able to just slide this new shingle right back in here. Brought two just in case. I did take a photo too before we brought these up here, but this is the Certainteed XT25 driftwood shingle that was recommended as per that RLS. Alright, just gonna slide that in there. One thing I want to point out, I mean, it is, again, we're kind of discussing repairability here with this video. But one thing that you can tell just from being up here, it's quite a bit different color here on the shingle. Regardless, we're going to continue. Tucked in there, it needs to be. Straighten her out. Should be good. All right. Got our roof snake here as well. State Farm prefers that we just use this on a 3-tab shingle. It's supposed to prevent the lifting of these ones above it. In some cases, in most cases that actually is correct. It does do that. But it does prevent us from getting a good nail. A lot of times this is pretty squirrely on us, so we got to try to keep this straight and be as careful as we can. The other thing we got to be careful of is not to leave impact marks below, because when we finish, that's kind of how it has to be nailed. And then one other thing too, I think I did point out already once, but we do have all this material transfer here, so we're going to have a real hard time getting this to seal properly. But we will go ahead and see what happens here. That bent on us right off the gate. We're going to have to pull that. Let's try again here. That's kind of what's going on with it. Let's try this again here. Gotta keep her straight. That one went in good. Alright, one down. Some spectators down below. Hi. Yep. Two more. Let's go in that room next door. squirrely it is. We're trying our best to kind of hold it here and be careful with it, but when you get to this point, you just got to try and drive it straight down. This is typically where sometimes these impacts are caused. This is a new shingle though, so we should kind of one there. Should be good though. Got one more in this shingle, and then we should just have these ones up top to go back. And quite a bit of material transfer going on this one here, and I'll show you once I get this thing put in here. I'll take the camera real quick just so I can show you. When I get in under here, you can see that whole line of matting has been ripped up there. And so this shingle is never going to seal properly again. That's quite a bit of actually pretty bad material transfer. So now that we got our shingle put back here, we're going to take a look at our control shingles. So starting up top here, we brush them. We don't see any granular loss still, kind of like we would expect. Same thing over here. Nothing going on in this area here with this control area. Coming back down into our shingle 3 and 4, the top upper shingle that was going to have to be done. There's not really any granular loss there. Getting over here into the meat in the middle of it, just a little bit. Granular tension is still pretty good there on that upper shingle. Checking now, where 1 and 2 are going to be. Kind of see there's definitely a little bit more granular tension there. Shingle 2 here and shingle 4 had a lot of material transfer on them. You can see more granules coming off here on shingle 1. And now see the let's check 5 and 6 here at the bottom. You can definitely see kind of where this got to be, nailed in right here. And the 2 below, it typically, it strikes right below the edge of that next tab. So we definitely see some material, or granular loss, there. We're also seeing some kind of along shingle 6 here as well. So overall, granule retention is still overall pretty good. We're losing a little bit. We had material transfer all along shingle 6 here on that seal line. Again, material transfer there. Then the last thing to consider here is going to be just the color. So if this is something that Mr. Yoshimura, that you're willing to accept and sign off on, so that we aren't liable for any further damages that might come from this, we'd be happy to go ahead and continue with the rest of the repairs and fix the rest of these shingles. If this isn't acceptable for you, then we'll have to talk further about what next steps look like.